Got it.
Oh wait, are you on the brakes?
No?
The parking brake?
Oh, you should have told me. It was go. Now
I was like, damn, this thing's heavy.
That's what I said. Since you said it was no transmission, no nothing, I forgot
my bad.
I forgot the brake stuff.
Yeah, and I think it's only just because it was on the asphalt that it made it so much harder. Ready?
Now, yes.
Yeah, stay on the brakes. Stay on the brakes. Brakes. Stay on the brakes, just
Okay.
slightly, so it has a little pressure.
Okay.
You're supposed to be teaching me this.
It's been a while.
Linus! We need your big, strong muscles. Let me see. Let's get a good angle of.
Still gonna have to go a little bit to the right
Yeah, mine did.
and then to the left.
Yeah, you're.
Go this way and then that way.
Yeah.
Go this way, that way.
This way, that way. Okay, go straight. All right, hold it right there. Okay, it's right there. Stuff over here that we should probably put in the. So let's push it forward a little bit. We'll empty it out and then come back. And then if we gotta make any corrections, right now's the time.
That was it?
There's a couple other boxes in there, but this one's definitely a little bit heavy. I think it's an exhaust.
Okay.
They come with an integrated storage unit.
Open it, young man. Oh, I forgot. These are not the.
This is not a modern truck. Mine does it though.
Yours does?
Yeah, I put a shock in it, a little strut.
Okay, I was gonna say.
This thing rolls so easy. Unless it's got the parking brake on. Then not so easy.
No. Earlier. I didn't hear you until I looked in the mirror and he said brakes, and I'm like, oh shit, he's really close. The red one, you're gonna put it here later?
Yeah, first we're gonna do Justin's truck. How am I gonna fit 3 trucks in here? I'm guessing probably towed a camper too. I think I've seen little.
That's why he added that front one. That's cool.
Yeah. I also think that it's super weird with this truck that being a big old dually, he bought it with the smallest mirrors that you could possibly buy. I didn't even know you could get these mirrors on a dually.
Wow.
That was crazy.
What is he gonna see?
Nothing. I ain't seeing shit out of this thing.
That's funny.
Especially once we're done with it. No, it's a Dana 80 out of an F350. We're lifting it up a lot. In most wheels on dualies, there's no way to keep it tucked under the fenders. So I bet you the rear end is gonna probably poke out like 46 inches per side. Probably be wider. Have you seen Justin's truck, that red dually, my friend? So it'll probably be wider than that truck. Welcome back to the channel, guys. I want to waste no time in introducing to you the new build that we're going to be working on for the next couple of few weeks. And it's this beautiful crew cab dually 1996-97 F350. I am so excited to work on this truck. It is a beautiful, low mileage. I say this about a lot of the trucks that come in here, but this is seriously one of the cleanest trucks that we've had in this shop. Completely unmolested, for the most part, completely stock. And we're gonna be doing so much work to this truck. It's getting a 4-lane. This is gonna be our first full air ride build too. So air ride in the front, air ride in the rear. That's gonna turn out so freaking cool. We're also gonna be doing a 4-wheel drive swap. The customer dropped off the truck with an ATS transmission, 4-wheel drive. We've got a BorgWarner 4407 that we're gonna throw behind that. The truck, I honestly feel bad. I should have done a walk around with this truck outside, but again, super low mileage. I believe it's got 130-some thousand miles, and the interior is absolutely flawless. The paint, for the most part, is flawless. Underneath the truck, 0 rust. So this truck actually came to us all the way from Rhode Island, believe it or not. And for those of you that don't know, we're in Arizona. So for those of you that don't want to make the drive out here, it's worth it. It's like I said, this guy came all the way from Rhode Island, which absolutely amazing. Thank you. I feel very honored that you brought the truck all the way down here. I really appreciate it, and we're gonna take really good care of this truck. But again, like I said, it's completely flawless underneath because this truck actually spent most of its life, I believe, in California. So once we get it up in the air and I start tearing it down, I'll show you just how clean this thing is. There's absolutely 0 rust. I mean, there's really nothing else to do other than go ahead, get started, tear it apart, and you know, do our thing.
Same color pants, same color shirt.
Oh man, look at this thing. This thing is ginormous. I know that it's not gonna come through on video, but I'm literally gonna make the welding areas bigger just to make these things, because as you can see, they really don't fit on the table. And for those of you that might not know what this is our 4-link cradle for a crew cab truck, and this particular one is getting 4-link up front with traction bars in the rear instead of the 4-link air ride setup that we did on like Bryce's trucks. I love making these things. They take a whole bunch of work, a whole bunch of material. Like just in the cradles, we gotta use 2 4x8 sheets of metal to be able to cut these things because they don't fit on just one. Again, just a lot of material, a lot of weld, and they're just so fun to build. And actually one of these things, well, a very similar version of that is going to be going on this truck that we just showed you. So this thing's getting a very similar cradle to what Bryce got with 4-link up front, 4-link in the rear. We just made some improvements to the products. I probably shouldn't do this as much, but I love to tinker and make things better, which is what we did with this cradle. Just so happy with the way that they turned out. And this particular one is going on a good buddy's truck that I think you guys are gonna love once he's done with it. It's gonna be a super cool build, actually really similar to that one. So it's also gonna be on a crew cab dually, and obviously I'll show you guys some pictures and videos once he gets done with it. Now I was planning on taking apart this truck today, but unfortunately I'm not gonna get a chance to work on it this weekend. Actually, give me a second, let me get rid of all this. Summer is upon us, and I am one of the very, very rare few people that honestly wishes that it was winter year-round. I hate the heat, hate it with passion. This boy is built for cold weather. I live in the higher elevations section of Arizona, so it does still get cold. We do get some snow, but it's very, very mild. So I do greatly wish that it was winter year-long. Like honestly, this year, winter didn't even really feel like winter. It was kind of like having spring all year. And honestly, if it could be like that all year long, I would be in heaven. Anyways, I digress. Plan was to tear down this beautiful truck. Between trying to get those cradles done, we're currently working on getting the 05 Plus axle swap kits for the 99 through 04 Super Duties knocked out, which is what a lot of this is. So I want to get a head start on that. And this weekend is my nephew's graduation, which huge congrats to you, man. Super proud of you. And of course, I have to be there to celebrate him. So we're taking off to Colorado. We're gonna spend the weekend over there, you know, party, celebrate my nephew. And then as soon as we get back, we're gonna turn this thing into UFO, strip all the suspension completely on this thing. Well, one, I gotta start figuring out 2 things. One is how we're gonna do the air ride up front. And then, like I just mentioned in the last clip, I'm always tinkering and trying to make things better. And I have a few improvements that I wanna make to the rear air ride setup that we did like on Bryce's truck. I think there's still room for improvement on that setup. And ever since we've made it, I keep going back and thinking of ways that we can make it better. So I'm gonna take this chance with this truck to do that. So we're gonna go with even bigger bags than what we did on Bryce's build. I gotta go back and check exactly how big of a bag we went with, but I wanna go with the big bag on this build, especially because the owner of this truck, he actually owns a construction company, and he does plan on towing his trailer with this truck. We want a nice big bag that can, one, handle the loads that he's gonna put on it, but when it's unloaded, that it'll ride nice and soft. Because if you guys don't know, the bigger of a bag, I mean, and there's still a whole bunch of other factors, right, that go into it, but generally, the bigger of a bag that you can put on a truck, the less air pressure it'll take to have the truck at the right height that you wanna have it at, which means that it'll also ride nicer, softer. So again, that's kind of one of the things that we want to do with this truck, because it's not just going to be a show truck, it's also going to be a truck that's going to be getting used. We want to build the suspension for it, you know, to be able to handle everything. Not that what we did with like Bryce's truck wouldn't be able to do that. Again, we went with an even bigger bag than I thought I was gonna use on that truck. But with this, we're gonna try and maximize the bag size that we can on it. Another thing that I wanna update you guys is on the laser. Even though it doesn't look like we've done a lot from the last time that we, you know, messed around with this, there's actually, as you can see, power ran to it now. I was, I guess, a fool because I just didn't realize how expensive it is to run power, and holy guacamole, was it expensive to go. And it's not even a long run. It's like literally from there all the way up there, across the roof, and down here was so much money. But we got that done out of the way, and then we've got power to both our transformers, and we're basically just waiting for G-Wick to send their techs to get this thing dialed in, to get it. They're gonna swap over all the panels that were damaged during shipping. They're gonna do the last few things that we gotta do to get this thing up and running. They're gonna get it up and running and train us, and all of that's gonna happen next week, right as we get back from that little mini vacation that I'm gonna go take in Colorado. But I'm dying to see that thing cut, guys. I don't think you guys understand the torture that it is working with that table while we have this beautiful machine right there just sitting. It literally kills me. I don't even like looking at it because I get upset. So I'm just beyond excited that hopefully within a week's time, we'll be able to be cutting on that machine. And now that this big beast is in the shop, there's nothing else to do but to completely tear it apart. Again, this thing's gonna go down to bare frame. We're gonna take off all of the suspension, all the brackets, everything, because everything is getting replaced with our parts. And then on top of that, we're gonna clean up the entire frame, paint it, make this thing look brand new underneath. I am so excited for this build. Now, one thing that I gotta talk about, again, this is a super clean truck. Well, once we're done with it, we'll give you a full walk around, but like the interior is absolutely mint on this thing. I love this truck. Now, unfortunately, the only blemish that this truck really has is that some idiot on the highway side swapped my buddy on the truck, and fortunately he didn't completely mess up the fender, but as you can see, we got a pretty good crack right there. You know, another crack scratch right there. And I can also tell that the paint, for whatever reason, is off. I don't know what that has to do with, because I believe this truck is completely clean, no accidents or anything. So maybe it's just the way that the paint over the fiberglass has aged over the rest of the body, because I want to say that the other fender is the same way. You can't see as much because of the light, but there's definitely a color difference. So let me know if that's a normal thing. But anyways, what I've been meaning to, what I want to ask, sorry, is the owner of this truck, my buddy, really wants to go with a new set of fenders. I mean, specifically because of this blemish. Well, not specifically because of that, but it's a big factor. And this thing, again, it's getting a big lift, air ride, big wheels and tires, so they're gonna stick out quite a bit. And he had found a company, and I know this company, that made extended dually fenders. The problem is that he's been having a hard time getting a hold of them so that they can make them a set. So if you guys know of anyone that makes new fenders, specifically extended fenders, let me know, because I'm actually also interested in a set for my dually. They gotta look the same body lines, everything just extended out a couple inches. Let us know, because we're really interested in that. And if any of you work with fiberglass, why aren't you making fenders? Every single OBS, every single dually OBS has cracked fenders, so I feel like it would be pretty decent market. I don't know, but what do I know? Anyways, let's go ahead, get this thing up in the air, get it completely stripped. These are so light, it's crazy.
baby.
Guys, and just like that, we've got this truck in full UFO mode, and it's time to start having fun and trying to figure out how we're gonna, don't fall. Oh, it's so dark in there. Need a better like lighting setup in this area of the shop. I'm honestly thinking about adding lights to this wall so that it projects onto the side of that. But anyways, it's time to start figuring out how we're gonna do these bags right here on the front. I actually have a set of larger bags than these. I want to say that these are 8-inch bags. I think I have a set of 10-inch bag coming because I think we might go to that bag. I'm pretty sure that we can fit it in there, and if we can, I'd rather go with that because the bigger of a bag that you can run, the more load and you can carry, and the smoother it'll be. So I ordered about as big of a bag as I think that we can fit in the front and the rear, and we'll see. Now the other thing that I got to do is start working on these axles. So these are out of 2005 dually. Obviously Dana 60 up front. Like, oh, they're a lot of people ask me this, but dually front axles that aren't F450 or 550, they are essentially the same between dually and not dually. The only thing that really changes is the adapter, and then they have a different thread pattern for the adapter. Same axle. Where it does change is in the rear. You go from a Sterling 10.5 to a Dana 80 on the dualies. So we've got this nice set of matching axles. Came out of again, like I said, an 05, 06 dually. These are pickup truck axles. You don't want to use axles out of a cabin chassis because the frame is narrower on the cabin chassis, and actually the whole axle is narrower. So you would have to move your spring purchase out on a cabin chassis axle, but your tires will probably hit the leaves. There's two easy ways to figure out if you have a cabin chassis or a pickup truck axle. The first one and the most reliable one is your shock positions. If your axle has a shock going to the back and a shock going to the front, it is most likely a pickup truck axle. Now, if both shocks are going to the front, it is probably a cabin chassis axle. As far as I've seen, all pickup truck axles have a pinion flange. All pickup truck axles have a yoke flange instead of like the strap style. Pretty much all cabin chassis have the strap style and not the flange. So I have seen a couple with the flange. That's why I don't, the biggest giveaway for me is the shock positioning. And obviously if you want to be 100% sure, you measure between the spring purchase. I want to say the cabin chassis axles are at like 43 or something like that, and the pickup truck axles will be 45.5. I actually think that the cabin chassis are even narrower than 43, but the pickup ones are 45.5, especially because I just measured it to be sure. I didn't want to give you guys the wrong number. So those ones, at least in my area, dually axles are actually quite a bit harder to find and quite a bit more expensive. Found these ones, they definitely need some love. So we're gonna get them out, pressure wash them. And if that's not enough, I actually bought let me show you. I bought a little wet sandblasting kit. I also bought a little heavier duty, higher PSI GPM pressure washer. Although honestly, I probably should have gone for an even more industrial grade one than that. That's still kind of hobby, you know, kind of home use one. It should still work. I read that it needs to have at least like 3,000 PSI and like 3.5 gallons per minute, which I looked at some reviews and some guys were using that with, you know, success. So hopefully it'll work out for us. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and unload these and figure out where to stuff them. I had cleaned out this area right here so that Justin could bring in his truck, and it's slowly filling up again. Obviously, whenever you completely take off the suspension out of a truck, you're gonna take up a lot of space, and especially because my buddy wants to save all these parts, which actually makes sense. Rhode Island, so up north, you know, in the Rust Belt, and these are all really nice rust-free parts that he could probably take up there and sell again. So we're gonna keep these somewhere for him, keep him safe. Hopefully still have space to bring in Justin's truck. I also gotta bring in that truck after we're done with Justin's truck, which Justin's should be not that long. We're just doing a turbo and intercooler. So as soon as we get Justin's truck out, we'll bring in that truck. And then hopefully as soon as we're done with that truck and this truck, we hopefully can work on my trucks. What I want to do short term is pull the 460 out of the dually, the green dually, because that one's getting the DT360, and put it in this crew cab shore bed, because I'm dying to daily this truck. And as you might have seen in one of our previous videos, the engine on this thing is blown up, or there's at least something wrong with it, where it loses oil pressure and it produces some knocking noises. The engine out of the dually, that thing's in really nice shape. It's only got like 150,000 miles on it, which is not too crazy. So the plan is to put that engine in that truck and possibly throw a 6R80 or a 10R80 behind it. But at the very least, I just want to get it running, because like I said, I really want to start daily driving that thing so that I can sell this daily driver. Although in today's economy and fuel prices, this thing makes a lot more sense to daily drive than that thing. So we'll see. But anyways, let's unload these axles. And just like that, we've got the axles in the shop. Now, like I said, what we're gonna be doing is basically completely get them stripped down. They're probably gonna need a lot of new parts, brakes, ball joints. They look like they need some work, so we're gonna get them completely tore down, all the steering, everything, and then they'll get cleaned. We'll see what all it needs, but like I said, just by looking at them, they're probably gonna need ball joints and brakes and all kinds of stuff. That will be for a different day. We do have to scan this one, because the scan that I have that I made, the truss and bag mount, was for a Sterling 10.5. So we are gonna go ahead, get this thing scanned. We're probably gonna cut off both the sway bar bracket and the shock brackets off of these things, and then scan it, because we're gonna have to figure out a new way to do a sway bar on this thing. Now, one thing that I meant to say before I got carried away with all this stuff is that we're not just doing a suspension build on this thing. We're actually going to be throwing a few extra parts that we haven't really done before. So we're going to be doing the rear 38-gallon fuel tank. We're going to be doing an edge CTS or SCT monitoring deal. And one of the biggest things that you can't even see right now is this ATS built automatic 4-wheel drive. So we're gonna be doing a 4-wheel drive swap on that truck. I'm trying to figure out what transfer case we can use. So I've got that BorgWarner 4407 up there, which is a great transfer case. It's basically the heaviest duty transfer case that an OBS ever used. Only used in 96 and 97. But my buddy really wants to do, don't judge him, but he really wants to do an electric shift transfer case in that thing. So I gotta figure out if we can make the 1356 electric shift transfer case work on these trucks. Honestly, I'm not 100% sure if the 3/4 and 1-ton trucks ever came with the electric shift 1356. I don't know why I thought that they were all manuals. So the ones that I've seen are all manuals. So I gotta look into that, or I gotta see if we can make, what is it, the MP271s that came in the Super Duties, the electric shift ones. I gotta see if we can make those work on this thing, see if anyone makes like a standalone controller and stuff like that, because I know that they make them for the newer trucks, but I honestly have never seen anything for the older Super Duties. So I gotta figure that out. Again, it's not a very popular swap, but if anyone has ever done that, let me know how you did it. Again, I don't really think a lot of you would go that way. Like, I've researched it before a lot, and obviously it's always the other way around. It's always people wanting to go from the electric shift to the manual shift transfer cases. We'll see. I honestly want to go with the 4407. It's just a better transfer case. But again, not my truck, not my money. So we're trying to do whatever we can to do the build, you know, the way that my buddy wants it. So I got to do some more research on that end. But yeah, like I said, you know, it's getting transmission, transfer case, larger fuel tank, and a couple other things. Obviously, full 4-link front and rear, full air ride front and rear. It's gonna be a beast of a truck. We're probably gonna do 22s on it too. I don't want to go with the Alcoas just because I don't like adapters. So if we can go with a direct bolt set of 22s, I think that should be a lot better. Again, guys, a lot of work on this truck, on all these other projects that we have going on. So again, hope you liked the video. Leave a like, leave a comment. Don't forget to subscribe because as you can see, we always have something going on. And yeah, guys, I'm super excited for all of this work that we're doing. So yeah, we'll see you on the next one.